Hi, it looks like we're live. Oh, this is awesome. Um, Great. So, welcome if you're on live, and welcome to all of you who will be joining us in the future. This is our group energy alignment. It's kind of an offshoot of something that I do with people, especially people who are looking to get more guidance or bring up more for healing and for transformation through their energy systems when they're working with their charts. And it's called an energy alignment session. But this is more of us coming together, bringing our energies together, working in the quantum field, which means that anytime that you show up to this, you're going to be putting your energy into the field that we're creating with common intention. And it helps to, our common focus helps to amplify what we're doing here. So welcome at any point in time that you happen to be joining us. Today is the 25th of November. So I have a couple of things that came up as I was preparing to get on here today, and I'm actually kind of curious as to how it's all going to come together, because in the time that I was meditating and getting prepared, I got a little message, or maybe just a little reminder, and I wrote it down. And that reminder is to remember that you are the sacred center of your universe. Remember that you are the sacred center of your universe. And what came up for me when I entertained that reminder is the image of the Taurus, Taurus. And if you're not familiar with what a Taurus is, it's well, in terms of being the center of the Taurus, we are in the center of our own Taurus. The Taurus is like a donut shape. And it's a part of sacred geometry that has to do specifically in terms of our own physicality and the way that our energy runs. Our consciousness kind of runs through the center and down through the ground and out, and then this way as well. So the Taurus energy um, connects us both to the earth and to our higher consciousness. And a lot of times, if you've been in any of my uh, energy work things, or have been guided by me, you know that I like to connect you to both. And this is sort of the fulfillment of that. If you're not familiar with the concept of the Taurus, you can Google it, and you'll come up with some really interesting images around what that's about. And one of the things that came to mind today to share with you about the Taurus, I got an itch here, sorry about that, is I've been kissing my cat, cat hair. Uh, One of the things that came up was this thing that I learned way back when I was doing structural body work, about how we develop as a fetus. And we actually, uh, the egg and the sperm fuse, and the cell, I believe it's a zygote. Is that what it is? It splits in two. That split actually becomes the beginning of who we are, and from that split of the cells, there's a center channel that forms, which eventually becomes the channel that goes from, that's our digestive system, where nourishment comes in, and nourishment and waste products go out. So, embryologically speaking, we are formed as a Taurus when we are first splitting our cells apart. When the consciousness that makes us is starting to split the cells apart, that's how we are formed. And then as we develop and as we get our own consciousness infused into the physicality of our fetal structure, then we begin to emit this energy in a toroidal, I believe that's the term, toroidal field that comes through and down and out and through and down and out. And then if you look at things like the images from the Heart Math Institute, they make the connection between the heart field, the donut-shaped heart field or field of energy that the heart makes, and the field of energy that the mind makes, and how that actually vibrates, moves out into the world in this donut shape. And we, you, me, are the center of that. So remember that you are the sacred center of your universe. Everything is radiated out from you, from the center. So that came to me this morning as I was also tuning into the possible need that those of you who are watching really need some support in staying connected to your center. And of course, human design helps you to align with who you are in the center of your universe through your strategy and authority. But there's also this sense, especially in this time, and I'm going to tie this into the transits that are coming through the sun and the earth right now. There's this big potential for those of us who are pretty open, or those of us who give out a lot, without regard sometimes, or maybe full awareness sometimes of what's going on out here in our toroidal field, out here in our auras, that we can get eroded. Our energy fields can suffer from erosion. So that's where I want to take us today. And the reason that I want to focus on that today, and I want to show you what the transits are doing. The 3420, let me see if I can get this here. The 3420 channel, the channel of charisma, is actually in the conscious sun and the conscious earth. And this is the channel, actually the only channel that brings sacral energy, workforce energy up to the throat for expression and manifestation. So it's known as the busy. Well, the 34 in particular is nicknamed the gate of busyness. And if you've been looking around, especially since in the United States, we've come through the Thanksgiving holiday, we're ramping up for the end of the year celebrations, and it can be quite a busy time. So what I want to remind those of you who don't have the 3420 or the 34 or the 20 is that that energy for manifesting things out of the energy of busyness is not yours. And in terms of eroding your energy field, especially if you're a projector who's absorbing through your aura, or even generators, you're attracting things to you, and there's great potential there for energetic erosion, for kind of getting weighed down by other people's stuff, or actually even just bringing it in to yourself, especially as a projector. This is when transits come through like this, it can really affect you physically, because it's just like another human being. It would be as though someone with a 3420 was in your midst. Let's say you went out Black Friday shopping, and maybe you're a very open projector, or a very open generator, maybe even a reflector, or perhaps even a manifester who's really open. You're taking that in and you're amplifying it. Remember that those energies from other people that you don't have defined in your design are places of amplification and distortion. So sometimes people, when this transit comes through, feel extra energized, or they feel um, really exhausted. So I want to invite you, as we kind of go into our time together in really focusing our energy. I want to just invite you to sort of sit back, relax, use this time to come back to the center of your universe, come back to the center of your toroidal field, of your energy field. And just remember that out there, especially this 3420 dynamic, powerful energy, is for us to observe. And I'm saying those of us who don't have that energy, it's for us to observe. So observe where other people are caught up in busyness. Observe where you may be around people who are extra busy or expending a lot of energy, and you're getting caught up in it as well. And then observe how you're taking care of yourself in those times when you do get caught up, and your system does amplify that energy. And I'm curious, for those of you who are here live, if you've had some experiences with being either extra tired the last few days, or perhaps extra energized, or if you've observed what's going on around you and have noticed that perhaps things are a little bit busier than they normally are in the atmosphere around you or with the people around you. So feel free to chat that if you like. I'd love to hear what your experiences are. And let's see how we're going to bring this together. So erosion. This term erosion came to me during my preparation time, my connection time with this live stream. The way that you know that your energy field or your energy system is suffering from erosion, and that sounds like such a uh, 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 structural engineering kind of a term, but we are structures, and we do kind of get worn down. The way you know it is through fatigue, or what I like to call mental fragmentation, meaning that maybe you're distracted, maybe your mind is keeping you hopping from thing to thing, which is very pertinent in this time when we're in this 3420 busyness type of transit. There can be a lot of fragmentation where you're running from thing to thing because you think you have to keep up. I mean, how many of you or still struggle with the expectations that maybe your family puts on you, or maybe the expectations around tradition during this time of the holiday seasons? That's a big thing that really fragments us from being in our center, from being in a place where we can really feel comfortable, feel grounded, feel the peace that we need to feel during this time, because this is a season where it's getting darker at night, and we're coming into the longest night of the year. And this is a place where we have the opportunity to go inside and find that peace. But if we're out here caught up in the energy of what do I need to do next to fulfill my obligations, to fulfill what I think I need to do in order to make this season enjoyable for myself and for my family, and it's exhausting you, then that's that outside kind of creeping in and eroding your energy system. And another way that you may feel erosion in your energy system is through body symptoms. How well are you sleeping at night? This is like at least in the northern hemisphere. I don't know where you're watching this. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it might, your days are getting longer. But in the northern hemisphere, this is really the time, if we were really to tune in to and disengage from the modern pace of life, and we got back to being more in tune with the natural rhythm of the season, we would all be in bed by now because it's dark out, it's dark here. Um, and we would be getting up when the sun gets up. We would be going to sleep when the sun goes down, and we would probably be more inclined to sleep more, and maybe perhaps even sleep a little more deeply because there's less light. So I kind of got off on a tangent there, but that's the erosion, the modern world, in human design terms, the homogenized world, or the expectations from the outside creeping in that kind of get us into a place where we sort of compromise what is truly going to fulfill us and fortify us in our center. So this So from now until, like, I guess the 27th is when this busyness transit goes out, the 3420 transit. I'm going to invite you to observe that, to observe the busyness around you. And as we go into, I guess we're going to go into an exercise here to get you in the center of into being the sacred center of your universe. I want you to just tap into that, tap into this experience that we're going to go through as you go out into the world, that's busy around you, and notice how what is out there is not necessarily what is congruent with what's in the center of you inside. And allow that to be because you don't have to be caught up in what's out there. You can be in yourself, and you can be in the center of your energy field, observing the show, so to speak. So what we're going to do, this is perfect for tonight as well, because what we're going to do is clean, like we've been doing. This is our time to come together and clear away anything that is keeping us from being the sacred center of our lives, of our universe, of our toroidal field. We're going to clear out, and we're going to come back into a stronger center within. And that strength, that inner strength, is really kind of what the gate 34 of the 34 transit sort of teaches us. If you look in Richard Rudd's book, I actually have it here. I believe he has the 34, the gift frequency of the 34 as known as strength. Pretty sure that's what, yeah. When the 34 gift gives way to the 34, when the 34 shadow gives way to the 34th gift, a truly beautiful archetype emerges, human strength. And our human strength is inside. So this is, the 34 is showing us that during this time, bringing us the energy where we can cultivate a deeper sense of our own strength. And what comes to mind with that, especially in terms of working with energy, or our energy, is, there's a lot of strength that comes in the ability to flow, to not only flow energy through us, but to be able to flow in life according to the way that we're designed to do it, in technical terms, and according to our strategy and our authority, but just flowing in the moment. And that's what the gate 20 is about, that energy coming up to the throat, bringing that power and that strength up to the throat. Looking for it again. There's the 20. There's the 34. bringing it up to the throat. That's about in the moment, just knowing in the moment, not necessarily having a cognitive awareness of it, but just knowing. And when the 20 is part of the 3420, knowing how to harness that energy, that life force energy in the moment, that strength in the moment for the expression that needs to happen. And all of us can have that. It doesn't matter what your energy type is. It doesn't matter what your what's defined in your chart and what's not. That archetype of strength, and that strength, especially if you don't you don't have a lot of definition in your chart, that ability to be flexible from this place of your center is a true strength. So let's go ahead and get comfortable. I've got cords down here. I've been prototyping some reports that I'm getting ready to do for human design, people who are new to human design, just getting introduced to it, and for people who are a little bit more advanced. So I've got books and papers and things around. I tried to clear it as much as possible. And I'm going to invite you at this time, if you're in a place where you've got some things laying around, if you want to just move them out of the way, like I'm going to move this cord out of the way so it doesn't distract me. Move anything out of the way that is eroding your focus, that's eroding, dissipating your ability to focus on yourself at this time. And just take a few deep breaths. And I just want to invite you to just tune into your body in general, and where your energy field is extending out and around you. And for those of you who are looking for a meditation practice, something to do in the morning or in the evening, or in the evening or whenever, this is a great thing to do. Just to sit and close your eyes, do a scan of your body. What feels like it's open and flowing in your body? And then move your attention out through your energy field, out to the front, all the way around to the back, to the ground, and then up to the head or above the head. And you may be able to actually feel places of contraction or erosion. And just let that be. As you breathe, you may actually open those areas up. You may energize those areas, because oxygen coming by way of your breath does help to activate those things that brighten your energy field. Now we're just going to connect. If you're feeling like there's still some sense of erosion or some sense of, oh, well, let's, before we do that, if you're feeling like there are aspects of your energy field that are kind of missing or there are gaps, just want you to ask yourself where you may have left pieces of your consciousness and intention over the last few days or weeks. And allow yourself to just receive insight or an answer. It doesn't have to make sense. Then I want you to just ask, even if you don't know where you left those pieces, I just want you to ask for those pieces to come back. Now, they may come and fill in immediately, or they're on their way, and they may actually be waiting for us to kind of clear out some space. So just know that those fragments of your energy are coming, or they're waiting, or they're here ready to be put into place. And take another big, deep breath. Just take this one in through your solar plexus, through this area where your ribs open up at the bottom. Hold it slightly for a few seconds, and then let it go. And then bring it in again, right up into the solar plexus. Hold it and let it go. Let's do this 2 or 3 more times. In. You may feel like you're heating up a bit. If not, do it a couple more times. We're sort of stoking your inner fire to get things moving. And if you're feeling like you're warming up, allow that fire in your solar plexus to start to move up into your heart and down into your belly. Right through that center channel, up through your throat, down into your pelvis. Right up through your pituitary pineal glands, right up into the center of your brain, into the top of your skull, out the bottom of your pelvis, moving into your legs and feet or into the ground. And then way up at the top. So you've got heat and fire moving through that center channel. This is the line, if you're familiar with the 7 chakras system, this is the line of the 7 chakras right through the center. So you're fortifying all of those centers. It's the place of the G center in the human design chart, the ajna, the head center, the sacral, the root, And of course, in the solar plexus, we have the aspects of the spleen and the emotional solar plexus. And then in the G, we also have the physical heart aspect that pumps our intentions and our love out into our field. So this heat is burning away, melting away anything that's sort of clogged up in your center channel. Now go ahead and take that heat down through your feet, through the base of your pelvis, down into the earth, into the place where you can feel like your love from your heart center is connecting with the love of Mother Earth, the love from Mother Earth, for her heart center, if you will. And then anchor yourself there, allowing the exchange of love between you and the earth to continue and to build. And as you continue to breathe, let that love that's building and flowing from deep within the earth come back up into your center channel, up through the pelvis, up through the stomach, solar plexus, heart center, throat, up, 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 out through the top of your head. And then just let that energy cascade around you in all directions, all the way around you. And let it cascade back down into the earth. And as it does, it picks up more of that love of who you are as a human, that love for who you are, and that love for having a form that has come from the elements of the earth. Let all of that love just come back up through your center channel, up through the top of your head, and out and around in all directions, and down into the earth. Take a couple more deep breaths and just allow that to just continually circulate like it's a perpetually renewing fountain of humanity's love, of love of being an earth being, the love that comes from being an earth being. And just set that, just allow that toroidal field to continue to circulate. And bring your energy back up through the center channel, through your heart, the throat, and up through the brain and the mind. Well, the mind is everywhere, but up through your crown. And straight up as far as you can sense. Maybe 100 feet, 200 feet, 300. As far as your perception can go, until you hit the place or until you bump up against the place, it feels like a malleable ceiling. the edge of your human consciousness. And if you've done this with me before, you're going to imagine, you may remember that we're going to imagine that there's a sunroof up there, maybe a round one that telescopes open. That's what I see, at least. Opening up into this big window that's allowing universal consciousness to come in from the source. That's allowing your connection with your higher self to come in through that portal. And just let that energy move down into your crown, into your brain, bathing the pineal gland, bathing the pituitary gland, bathing the history that you hold in your design crystal for you, the human design aficionados here. Bathing your human history in your brain, and then moving down into your throat, into your heart center, into your solar plexus, your sacral, your root, down into the ground, and all the way around and up as far as it will go, coming down into you and into your center, down to the ground, grounding itself up around in that donut secondary toroidal field. So you've got energy coming through you in both directions, through your sacred center, through the sacred center that is you, from higher consciousness, from your history and your love of the earth, your love affair with planet Earth. And it's just moving back and forth, up and down, clearing you out, retoning the energy. And at this point, it may feel kind of busy. Just let that energy run until you get to a point of where it's running so quickly that it actually feels still. Where you feel open and expanded in your core. And where there's so much light filling up your core, so much energy filling up and fortifying your core that it's almost solid. This energy can move so quickly, atoms can move so quickly that it appears to be a solid, which is how we got to have these human forms. So just let that energy move, so that light and energy moves so quickly that it feels like it's got a form of its own, a tubular core form of its own that is at its essence the light that you are. It's flexible. It's centered. It's strong. It's powerful. And as it builds up, it begins to radiate out into your field, all the way around, up above you, down below you, into that toroidal field that is your donut of an aura. And it's moving that strength through you. It's moving that power through you from your place of inner um, inner strength, inner centeredness, your place of being centered. And as it moves out, it just clears and retones, retunes any lower frequencies, any lower vibrations, clearing out whatever you may have picked up on Black Friday or whenever. Clearing out and fortifying those areas of vulnerability in your energy field for the times in the coming month or so when you may actually be vulnerable to the outside influences around you from people that you don't normally see or places that you don't normally go. So let that strength just radiate out from the stillness of your core. See if you can get a sense also of how that strength is flexible, how light and energy can be flexible and moving within you and still be strong, still be solid in certain respects. And this may move out in waves or just maybe one solid sweep that goes out. And as it does that, tap into your heart energy. You might want to put your hand over your heart. And allow the frequency of your heart to move out its own energy through your field. If you're having some challenges with really feeling that heart energy, just take a moment to think of something or someone that you love. And allow that energy to come up in your heart and be radiated out into your field and also up and out into your brain and your mind. And keep breathing and allow your brain, allow your thought processes to be informed by the love that's being radiated from your heart. And then if you're really feeling in the flow, if and I'm going to just place a caveat on this, that if this next thing makes it feel like your energy field is contracting or you're coming out of your body and going up into your head, don't do this piece because I really want you to stay in your core, the core light frequency that you're emitting. But for those of you who were able to tap into your heart energy and inform your mind of the love that's there, allow your mind to set one intention that's in alignment with the love that it's being informed by. Might be a word, a color, anything. Just one small intention that's moving out into your field. The intention that came up for me is, may all beings be happy and well and at peace. And let that energy and that intention kind of move through your field, filling up any areas that were eroded, that are feeling depleted, that are needing to be cleared out, pushing anything out that doesn't align with that intention that's centered in love, that's informed by love. Now that you're feeling expanded, if you have any fragments of of energy that you left in other places, of things where you left your attention somewhere else, imagine that those fragments, if they're not, haven't already come back into you, are waiting on the outside of this field. And as you expand your field out, you're enveloping and absorbing and opening up to those fragments of yourself that really need to come back in and find their place within you. So just let them come in and settle in. Okay, and let yourself just bathe in this for a few more seconds. If there's any aspect of you that's still feeling kind of overly busy or distracted or anything, just move a little bit more of that energy that's radiating from your core out into your field. And let's just set the intention that these donuts, these fields, these toroidal fields that you've amped up during our time, let's just set the intention that that continues to run, that your connection into the earth and around and out continues to run, and your connection to higher consciousness, that field continues to run down and through you. And for about the next 24 hours or so that you really get a chance to integrate and move that energy or open up to it, move it through your field and open up to it, and even continue to strengthen your core with it, the core of you, with that light and that love and that energy of higher consciousness. So now let's just come back with our attention into our physical forms, because this was quite expansive. I never quite know where these bits and pieces are going to take us, but I guess this is where it went. and feel your feet on the floor. Maybe move your body around with that awareness of the flexibility of the strength of the light in your core moving with you. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you, Rihanna. It's really important when you're doing your own energy work, and that's really what we're doing here is our own energy work, our own energy healing, if you might, or our own energy attunements. It's really important to make sure that you're well hydrated after these sessions, and that you kind of ground yourself before you do anything like run power tools or anything that could potentially be unsafe. So, where else do I want to go with this? I'm feeling like we're pretty expanded. We're pretty complete. I think I just want to give you close um, with the reminder that you are the sacred center of your universe. You have just put yourself in the center of your universe, and you are moving the sacred energy that is your birthright, the sacred light that is an aspect of you and your birthright to retain and operate from. You're moving that through your core and through your system um, tonight and into tomorrow, and any time that you want to watch this and amp that up. Um, Also, the reminder that the 3420 channel is the channel of charisma that brings all of that manifesting generator type of energy, busyness energy up to the throat. It's in the transits, in the conscious, in the sun and the earth right now. And this is a perfect time to sit in your core, to feel your core power, and observe the busyness around you. And you can be around it if that's what feels good to you. You can be in it if you're not already designed with if you already don't have the 3420 channel in your design, you can be affected by it. So you can be in it, observe it, see how it affects you, and then make sure that you return to your core and stay grounded in your strategy, your authentic strategy and authority, so that you don't get caught up and taken away or eroded by it. Oh, Nagal and Sanjita, thank you for coming. Rihanna, thank you for coming. I really hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly. Yeah, it can be trying. And if you weren't on in the beginning, uh, go back to the beginning. I was talking about how we're entering into this place where we're preparing for the holidays, and there are expectations and things that can erode our energy field. So definitely go back and review that. Awesome. Well, I'm kind of headed off into my winter evening routine. So I want to thank you guys for coming on. And for those people who are going to join us in the future, know that your energy and intention adds to what we've come together to do at this point in time, and that you will still benefit from this work as you, regardless of when you come and join us and find us. So we welcome you with open arms. You guys in the chat and on the live stream, if I were with you, I would give you a big hug. So giving you a big virtual group hug right now. And until the next time, take very, very good care of yourself. Remember to drink a lot of water, stay grounded, stay in your center, and be the observer of the life around you and allow yourself to be moved by what is moving from your core and your center. So until the next time, be well, and there will be more to come probably in another 2 weeks. Good night, everybody.